Hi, and I'm back. This is gonna be kind of weird, not for any particular reason that you should care about, but because my editing program has, for some reason, decided it does not want to record audio normally. Anyway, this is me building in The Sims. Yes, you've seen this before. You know what to expect. I decided for this one I wanted to try out some minimalism, specifically like minimalist design, as is shown here. I'm repeating myself, as is shown here, in what actually ended up also being a tiny house and a starter house because I used so few objects. It was really, really cheap, like 18K something. I don't have that file up. I'm doing this on a whim. This is perhaps the most disorganized thing I've ever made, but I have been so busy for the past like month and a half. At first, I wasn't that busy. I was just starting my semester and wanted to like get off on the right foot and make sure I wasn't like stressing myself out or anything, which I didn't. It was really good. I'll talk about that in a second. But then I decided I'm gonna get two jobs. So I now am employed, which is very exciting. I work in a lab and I work in the part of my school that houses all of the test subject animals, which is a bunch of mice, and they're very cute. I'll talk about that literally any other time. Right now, I think I should talk about The Sims because that's the game that's being played on my screen. Oh, whoa, ha ha ha. Um, yes, this is a build that I did a couple weeks ago and just never got around to recording. I said minimalism, and I did that. This is Plein Air. I didn't decide on the name until really late because at first I was thinking I was going to do an A-frame, but then I started building it and I put the roof on and I was like, wait, no, this is super cute as is, and I kept it and I really like how it turned out. When I say minimalism, I mean literally the only objects here, except for a few, are for the sole purpose of basically serving some utility. So I didn't do a lot of decoration. I didn't make it very large because I didn't need all that space. Yeah, see, I changed it to a tiny home because I had so much space. Um, there's not a lot of decoration. It doesn't need a lot of space. There's a lot of open space, which I think is really nice. It also kind of made me realize how busy and cluttered a lot of people that I watch build their homes, in which there's always just so much going on, and I kind of feel like I need to mimic that to a degree. But I don't. I can have my own unique identity. And I did that, and I think I really like how it looks. So, this is obviously a one bedroom, one bathroom. I built it in the desert because I don't do that often, and I think it looks really cool. You'll see more desert stuff later because right now it's mostly just house stuff. House stuff, yes. Ha ha ha. I'm sorry, it's been a while since I've like recorded myself. I'm kind of out of practice. But I wanted to go for what people kind of imagine when they hear minimalism, which is a blank white box, but with some less blank, less white things. So I have a lot of light wood toned with some dark accents on things like the bookshelf. I end up doing dark windows in a lot of the rooms. It's very open, very bright. I say a lot. Yeah, very open, very bright, very simple, honestly. I have like those two decorations right there and not much else. I don't even have a couch. This is really a home for someone who wants to be on their own and really enjoys solitude and introspection. I think that was really important going into this to emphasize those aspects because it's not necessarily like what I think of when I think minimalism, but it is definitely something that I feel is important to the idea of minimalism. And basically the idea of not letting yourself be distracted by worldly possessions or by a busy environment and being more able to like concentrate. Should also specify I am not like the end all be all arbiter of knowledge when it comes to minimalist aesthetics. I've just seen like a few YouTube videos on them and get the basic gist of it, and I think it's kind of cool. Anyway, that aside, I have some. When I was like going on my big rant earlier about how my recording software is being a dummy, I did the kitchen. I really like how the kitchen turned out, which is so weird to say because there's so little to talk about here. Like most of this is probably just going to be me landscaping and like fiddling with things. But in the kitchen, the bar stools I ended up using, I really like how those looked. Um, I was originally gonna do the one from the anniversary update. That was just this very simple, just a wooden seat that was kind of molded to a butt. I'm sorry, it's true. I just find it funny. I was originally going to do something like that, but then I thought I really like the tiny living ones, and they introduced this kind of brighter, richer tone, and I really liked that. I also liked that they had some lumbar support and a little bit more verticality. So from when you're standing at the sink or the stove and you look out the big sliding glass door, it's not as straight of a straight shot, and you do still have obstructions. Like there's a couple of plants which are like basically all the decoration in the space. There's the chair and there's the lamp, but there's also that verticality of the seats, and I thought that was interesting. Yeah, um, that's most of what I have to talk about in this space. Also, I'm recording this laying in my bed because I didn't feel like going over to my desk. It's literally right next to me, but I'm in a bed mood. I'm also doing this kind of like on a whim, like just like I'm doing this mostly on a whim because like I didn't really plan out this. I was originally gonna do this last night, but I was working all day Friday, Saturday right now. I was working all day Friday, and I accidentally ended up spending 5 hours in the lab I'm working in, just working on lab stuff. Also, oh no, my frame rate. What happened to you, my dear? Oh, I haven't watched this video back until just now. Oh no. Okay, it looks good now. I think it was just having a tough time. But yeah, I spent like 5 hours in the lab, not even doing a ton of lab stuff because like I'm brand new there. I'm still learning the procedures. Most of what I did was me and one of the grad students. We basically reorganized the whole space, and then one of the other undergrads, he was working on the procedure stuff, and so I was observing and helping him with some of the hands-on stuff. Like I ended up pipetting some stuff for him and like measuring things. I did a little bit of lab work. Anyway, another important thing to note: I didn't re- I didn't keep in most of my initial landscaping because when I was editing this originally, I was like, wait, this original landscaping kind of looks like booty cheeks, and I just got rid of it and redid it, and I really like how it turned out. So I think this might be no, this was still my first recording session, so you're gonna see some of that original landscaping. Uh, and then it just didn't look right. It was like a mishmash of really weird deserty plants. So I redo it, and I think it looks a lot more cohesive, and it's very nice. I think it looks very beautiful, and I have a couple of screenshots of it, like at night. I don't think I included them, but I have them for me, and that's what matters. I do this for myself. Anyway, um, here in the bedroom, I have that one side table. I end up moving that to the living room for, I can't call it the entry, the reception room. I end up moving it there, and it's basically the only decoration you have in that space, or really the only furniture you have in that space, with that little thing of plants too. So it's a little bit more decorated, because I feel like that's also a space where you would have guests and you would want to have somewhere that's a bit more done up. So you can see where I'm getting at. I really went pretty hard with minimalism, but that's super hard because I do still enjoy decorating spaces. I just like to kind of take a step back. And this actually ended up taking not very long for me to do because I didn't decorate so much, which was really fun. And it was just a different sort of challenge design wise, and that was quite enjoyable to do. Anyway, here I'm going with the black on the windows and the door and just adding a little bit of contrast because as much as I like having all the bright whites, I think adding a little bit of contrast kind of emphasizes how bright things are and also just like tells your eye where to go, which I think is very important when designing a space. Oh, also, a thing I do here, I used that lantern from Perfect Patio. I'm sorry, I'm getting out of breath. I'm talking, I don't usually talk this much. I used that lantern from Perfect Patio. I should have used the one from Backyard Stuff because I used the rug from Backyard Stuff. It's the only item I used from there. And something I've been trying to do in these builds that I share is I'm trying not to like use one item from a pack and nothing else. So I'm trying to get as much out of a single pack as possible. So that was a dumbass move on my part, but I've already saved the build, and like by the time I upload this, I will have already packaged all the files and put them on my Google Drive to share with people. So I'm not gonna go and change it. But I do think the backyard stuff one might look a bit better there too. Just like it's not as like a polished shape, but I do think it's a nice shape. And honestly, I don't use it nearly enough. But I think it'd be really cute to like imagine there's a citronella candle in there or something, as opposed to it just being like exclusively for light, which I also think kind of matches with some principles of minimalism of like function over function over form. Function over form, I think, is what I'm trying to get at. Anyway, so as you can see, the space is kind of like coming together where the objects are like more spaced out and less concentrated. That's another thing I wanted to do is have things have space, but not like feel like they're all in one space, but also not feel like it's super desolate in here, which I think was an interesting sort of balance to strike. And I think I struck it pretty well as the whole like having there be a good use of color without overbearing use of color. So it's much more subtle, much more neutral. I actually don't do neutral very often. I see a lot of people do neutral with a lot of like the whatchamacallit, the macrame rugs and like the woven rugs and the wicker and stuff. I'm not a huge fan of that style. I think some people do it beautifully. It doesn't appeal to me personally. But I do really like how this turned out, where I didn't so much use. I don't think I really used anything that was like woven, anything that was like those kind of textures and designs that I see a lot of. But I do think for the most part, this really finds like that balance of like, okay, well the counter's got like the woven basket inside of it, but I do think this really found like that proper balance of like texture and color without feeling overbearing, but also without feeling like so so little sensory input that it becomes overbearing. Anyway, here's where I'm redoing the landscaping. I was kind of trying to go for the more like deserty cactusy feel, but there's a big problem being I've literally never been to the desert before. I'm from New England. I stay in New England for the most part. So I've never really been to a place where cactuses grow. And most of my knowledge of cactusy places is from media, such as The Sims and various movies I've watched, and books I've read, and video games I've played. Not a ton of video games go to cactusy places, but some of them do. And so basically, I was just winging it. But then I decided, you know what? No, I'm going to make it more lush. I literally don't know what else to do. And also, this was when I realized that my better build by was kind of, having some time. It just wasn't installed properly, and I needed to like reset it. But I didn't feel like going out again back into game, so I just kept it as is. Actually, this is where this is where I fixed it. The old landscaping, I didn't have it fixed, so I literally just used the Strangerville landscaping, and it didn't look right here. But this, I think, looks a lot better. It kind of surrounds the space. It kind of makes it feel more like it's kind of like a circle thing. And I also really like that statue I used. I think it's from Eco Lifestyle, but I thought it'd be really cool to have like a single statue that someone made and that they put into the garden. Maybe the previous owner of this place, maybe the person who lives here. I imagine this is for someone who like recently decided, like maybe something happened in their life and they decided, you know what, I'm done. I'm gonna quit my job, pack up, sell off all my things except for like the few essentials that I know I can't live without, and just go off into the desert and be on my own and kind of live a life embracing those principles of like self-sufficiency and introspection. And this is it. This is what they have. They have yoga. They have plant. They have a lot of plant. They have this like painting. I imagine this is someone with more of an artistic side, and they have that cool statue. And I think it turned out very nice. And I say and a lot. I just said it again. Ha ha ha. Anyway, this is coming to a close. I'm putting out some different lanterns, changing the statue around a little. I was going to put a light on it. I don't think it needs the light. I think it speaks for itself. You'll see that in the screenshots. I'm pretty sure I put a really good picture of the statue in the screenshots with the tree and everything. I put some candles out here. Honestly, for someone who's literally never been to the desert and has no strong feelings of going to the desert, I think I might like this. This is I think I hit it out. I think I really did it with this one. Anyway, I'm almost done with this, and I've been talking for a little bit too long. Uh, so, I guess I'm done. Yeah, okay. Bye bye.